Hello, I'm Christopher Teal. I'm a State Department Foreign Service Officer, and I'll be starting this year at the Institute of Public Diplomacy and Global Communications as a Public Diplomacy Fellow. I've been with the State Department for 23 years. Most of my service has been in Latin America. I've served from South America, in Peru. I've served in the Dominican Republic, served twice in Mexico, but also worked in South Asia and Sri Lanka. I think what I've enjoyed most working internationally, and I speak as a public affairs officer, I'm a public diplomacy coned officer, so I've spent most of my time working at embassies, either running public affairs offices, working as a press officer, working as a cultural affairs officer. And what that enables me to do is really have broad outreach throughout society. So yes, of course, we work with government officials, but we also work with universities, we work with nonprofit organizations, civil societies, educational institutions. And really, I think it's that opportunity as a public diplomacy officer to have the broadest interaction possible as a diplomat that really makes it the most enriching. And that way we can learn the most about a culture, but we can also share ourselves and what we mean as American diplomats serving abroad, and share much more about our country with the colleagues we're working with. Well, I'm really excited to be coming back to GW. I was a graduate from the Columbian College, actually. I graduated in 1997. So 25 years later, coming back, and it's just a real thrill for me to be able to come back to my alma mater, to be able to teach with faculty that have such great international experience, and be able to really teach the students that are here now, having an opportunity to share that experience that I gained. I remember when I started at George Washington in the 1990s, my goal was really to become a diplomat. I was very interested in foreign affairs. I was very interested in international relations. I knew a little bit about the State Department, but not a lot. But frankly, what I learned here in the classes, the opportunities I had to interact with other students, really inspired me much more. And soon after graduation, I was lucky enough to get a job at the State Department, and this was an opportunity for me to contribute back to my alma mater, as well as contribute, I think, for the further education of the students we have here at the Institute. I'm here to learn, right? I'm here to learn about what the students are doing in terms, especially with outreach and technology. Although we do a lot with traditional media and we do a lot with social media, I think so much is changing, and it's changing very rapidly. It's useful for us as practitioners to learn from the students, as well as to be able to teach. And then to learn what other researchers are doing. I think that's one of the great things about the university, that you've got such a fantastic number, a diverse number of scholars working on regional issues or thematic issues. And so I hope I can learn from that, as well as contribute to some of their research. During my very first assignment as a diplomat, I was working in Santo Domingo, and I came across this incredible story about the man who it turned out was the first African-American diplomat, Ebenezer Bassett. Ebenezer Bassett was our ambassador to the Dominican Republic and Haiti, starting in 1869. And unfortunately, with time, he really became lost to history. And so when I saw his picture on the wall of the embassy, I thought, well, this is a fascinating character. What's his story? Later, I began to do a little more research about him, ended up writing a book, The Hero of Hispaniola. But I thought this is a really good visual story. He was such a courageous character, such an inspiring leader, really one of the early advocates of human rights as part of foreign policy. And I thought this would make a great movie. So I ended up working on a documentary film about him, a diplomat of consequence. And I hope I have an opportunity to engage with students and faculty here about that project, and have people know a little bit more about our diplomatic history and Ebenezer Bassett in particular. I think it's so important, especially for students, having the great advantage of being here in Washington and being at George Washington University, to take advantage of the international community that we have here. Not only do you have embassies from around the world, you have international organizations, you have non-governmental organizations working broadly And everyone has representation here. And so for students, I think it's extremely important to get to know those players, know those institutions, if you have an opportunity to speak with individuals that have interests maybe that you're interested in, whether it's human rights, economic development, democracy, you name it, it's here in Washington. And so I think that's one of the big advantages we have, being at the center of that and being sort of at a gravitational pull for these institutions. Our students should take advantage of that and really maximize their time here.